get back to the root of who I am and be out of people's vision for a while, to remember what's inside me, and to not be focused on other people's opinions. What you appreciate, appreciates. It's the same idea of the RAS. What we focus on starts to grow. Have you ever noticed that on a good day, things seem to get better, but on a bad day, they kind of seem to get worse? It's partly because we're not giving attention and consciousness to where we put our focus. There is an old Cherokee legend called Two Wolves. And it's a wise grandmother, an elder in the tribe, speaking to her granddaughter. And the grandmother says, "In every human heart, there are two mighty wolves. The one wolf believes that the greatest power in the universe is the power over others, through dominance and violence and aggression, through fear, through judgment, through intolerance. And this wolf believes that it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. You're on your own." The other wolf believes that the greatest power in the universe is the power to connect with others through the heart, through the soul, through love, through joy, through inspiration, through community, and kindness, and tolerance, and diversity, and acceptance. And that wolf believes that we're all beautiful threads on this great web of life, and we're never really alone. And the grandmother says these two wolves battle it out daily for our attention, for our focus. And the granddaughter says, which wolf will win? And the grandmother says, whichever wolf you feed. Right? It's up to us. The good, the bad, it's out there. But where are we going to feed what we want to see grow in this world? Instead of complaining about how things are, we go inside, find that strength, and add that to the world instead of expecting the world to take care of us. Even though there are tons of helping, loving people out there, we have to be one of them. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know that we were seeds. We each have that seed and that potential within us to grow into this world and bring our gifts of love, of compassion, of sensitivity. And the way that we were buried and the darkness we've been in, and the blood, sweat, and tears, are all to crack open sometimes a closed heart or a closed seed. All of that crap is fertilizer to help us grow. Bigger and stronger, but more vulnerable, more real. Our weaknesses, our flaws, our imperfection, human. Everybody's got them. If we conceal our wounds out of fear and shame, our inner darkness can neither be illuminated nor become a light for others. So when I was hiding away in my small world with my family, a few friends, I didn't trust a lot of people. I couldn't help anybody, and I couldn't even help myself. When I realized that in the hiding, I was hiding also my potential, the goodness, the joy I had experienced, I realized that's what becoming a light in this world is. It's not being perfect, and it's certainly not being cookie cutter. It's being you and bringing it forward. And it takes a lot of courage, but it's worth it. The hiding, in the end, just brings us and everyone around us down. When you are born into a world you don't fit in, it's because you were born to help create a new one. Do you believe that? That we all are helping to create a more caring world? A world where people understand that our differences can be celebrated and that our similarities are more prevalent than anything that should ever separate us. This body separated me because people didn't know what to make of me. Are you an adult? Are you a kid? What happened to you? You know the question I got so often, what's wrong with you? I wish my parents had told me to say, nothing's wrong. I got supercalifragilistic. Nothing wrong with that.
The real question is what's right with you.
What's right with you? Exactly.
Don't focus on the negative.
Yeah.
Because negative energy can be a physical force.
Oh, true. Because when I started to release some of that, my shoulder felt better. So sometimes physically we'll feel healthier as well. You are a one-of-a-kind original that the world has never seen before and will never see again. You are a soul-filled masterpiece. How many people are on the planet right now?
7.6 billion.
Yeah, almost 8 billion people. And no one has your fingerprints. What? And all of the billions before us and all of the billions that hopefully will come after us, no one will have your soul fingerprints. Like, that's mind-blowing and heart-opening. Because you're here for a reason, and if you don't fill it, guess what? That puzzle piece, gone. Missing. Hiding. Sometimes that's fine. We all have times we need to hide. But I mean in a lifetime, if you bring forth the joy, the vulnerability, the compassion, the strength within you, you fill that awesome masterpiece. And we're all masterpieces in the making. This is a lifelong journey. I'm on it, everyone's on it. Even, especially the people who look like they got it all together, they're still on the journey. They're still trying to figure out, well, where do they fit? Where's their uniqueness? Where's their originality? How do I express it? You're one in infinity. You're a miracle. It's amazing. It's such a gift. Please don't hide that gift. Stay bouncy. Keep your heart open. Because when you do that, you're opening other hearts too. And you're changing your world and the bigger world. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for listening. Questions? Anyone? Comments? Yeah.
You are really good.
Thank you. Thank you. I like hearing that. You're really good. Oh, raffle. Anybody? Questions or comments? Yeah.
So, what was the actual name of your disorder?
Spondyloepiphyseal congenita dysplasia. SED for short. But I prefer supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, so if you remember that one, we're good. Yeah.
I like how you came up with another name for it, like the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, because I have Asperger's, and we don't call it a disability, we call it a different ability.
It is a different ability. It's so true. We've got stuff in our heart that we need to share that other people do not have and do not know. I'm screaming into the camera. Don't get me started. Yes.
You said when you were a kid you found out that you had this?
Yes.
Was it diagnosed at birth, or was it?
Yeah. My brother, who was born before me, also with supercalifragilistic, they didn't know what he was. They called it a mutation. Nice, right? Don't call a baby a mutation. That's like a living, breathing miracle. They diagnosed him when he was, I think, 2 years old. Then they started to see the difference. his limbs are shorter, our body is shorter. There are many different types of dwarfism, you've probably noticed. Some have shorter arms and limbs, some have longer torso. I mean, we're all different. So the doctors had to figure out all those differences as well, hence the crazy Latin names for the 200 types of dwarfism out there.
What we lack in physical properties could be made up in intelligence.
Amen!
That was a good one.
Thank you. Do you blog? Do you write?
No, but I kind of storytell.
Good.
And, yeah.
Excellent. Creativity, does anyone else use creativity to just get out their anxiety and their frustration?
Last night we had a session on dealing with emotions and stress, and a lot of it talked about some of the things you did about letting it out.
Yes, get it
and how
out.
that will help you. And so we talked about we had some songwriters in the room,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Some musicians, yeah.
Music,
Awesome.
music heals souls.
Some artists too, yeah.
Authors.
Yeah, video gaming can be very creative in a way to like, get it out, get it out. Don't carry it inside you. Express it. Oh, woo. Express yourself. Anyone else want to add to that? Oh, yes.
Julie, how was your experience in school?
Oh, do you have an hour or two? A couple of years? You know what I did in school? I thought there was so much wrong with me, so defective. I worked like a dog. And I got straight A's, and I, went on to a big college, and I felt hollow inside. It did not reward me in the way I thought it would. I was not here to be a student. A student of life, yes, not of math or science. None of that spoke to my heart the way, when I got to college, I was introduced to sociology, psychology, philosophy, and then I started to go, right, this world needs that. I mean, that's my path. That's not everybody's path. But you'll get excited when you touch on your path.
Aside from your dwarfism, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you for asking. Let's see. My husband, people often ask me, is he normal? I got that one a lot. Is he disabled? Is he handicapped? How many audiences, that's the first thing that they, and maybe you're thinking that too.
Well, yeah.
Thank you for your honesty. He is average height. He does not have a visible different ability, but he has his inner disabilities just like every human has. So as I got to know him and realized, wow, it's really true. Everyone feels that they're not quite right, that something's up. And it's scary to admit that, but if you admit it, and other people start to admit, and we start to talk about it, and we laugh about it, and we cry about it, and just get it out there, guess what? We're slowly lifting up the vibe of the world instead of squishing all our emotions down. Did I see a hand fly up? That was just a happy, loving arm. Yeah.
Kind of like you and talking about your dwarfism, I'm like that with my Asperger's and stuff. I'm not, when it comes to creativity, my mind, I'm not good at coming up with music. I love to sing, but.
Oh, that's good. You don't have to come up with anything.
But when it comes to writing, I'm a very factual writer.
Ah.
And I wrote an article for my high school paper, a column called A Day in the Life of an Aspie.
Cool.
To tell people, I am different, but I'm not a whole lot different than most of you.
Yeah, these are the positive differences. And you're probably very detail-oriented. So, of course, you can get the stats out there and the facts and really educate people.
I'm really good with facts. It drives some of my friends crazy.
Well, they probably need you, though. They just wish they were that good at it.
Well, the thing is, it's about, my favorite subject. So.
Yeah. But that's good. Stay with your favorite subjects. Yes.
It's kind of the same way for me, because I had to write a a science paper, for, whether or not, or it was actually more of an essay, whether or not the nuclear bombings at Nagasaki and Hiroshima were necessary.
Wow.
Because there was actually, in my research, I found that there was actually an operation that was about to be implemented that never, where we would send troops in before we bombed it.
Oh,
to
and it never
prevent
was?
bombing. It never got implemented. Instead, we just dropped the atomic bombs.
We just dropped those suckers and,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
What's your current job?
I am a writer and a speaker, but I've gotten back to my art because my shoulder, as I express myself as a writer, a few years into that, I got back to my watercolors and, well, my watercolors are my favorite, but calligraphy as well. Thank you for asking. Yes?
When people do ask you rude questions like, what's wrong with you, why aren't you normal?
Yeah.
Do you find that it's better to give a funny answer? Like when people ask me,
Yeah.
I
Why are
say
you sitting in that?
something- I say something like retired mermaid. Or, I didn't eat my vegetables. Or, things like that that are funny. When you say it's better to tell people the straight answer, oh, I have muscular dystrophy, it's a disease that affects my muscles.
Yeah.
Or should I say funny things?
I think you've already have your answer, that when you loosen people up with your humor, they see that your heart is open to who they are and that your heart is open to who you are. Of course, I would assume they would know it's not always easy. So if they want to know the facts, they'll keep asking. They'll say, oh, she's open to that.
All right.
Sometimes I used humor when I was uncomfortable because people's questions were aggressive or insulting. And that was sort of a knee-jerk response. But the way it sounds to me when you speak is a kindness in you, letting them in. Like, this is not something that I want to come between us. I'm a retired mermaid. I love that.
I do.
Yeah. It's sort of like my supercalifragilistic. It's the way we term it for ourselves that changes your heart, but also changes the people around you. It literally ripples out. Like, we have an energy field around all of us that they can photograph. This is not woo-woo. And when we're scared or stressed, it's pretty tight into our body. When we are open and enjoying ourselves, it can be 10 feet out. So I'm like in your energy field and you're in mine. So we're sharing all the time. So when you welcome them in with humor, I think you're probably pumping up your energy field. I like those answers. But do what you're comfortable with. On a day you're feeling sad and you'd like to let someone in on that, tell them the hard parts.
Where did you come up with the name Nothing Short of Joy?
Good question. I was in my writing tsunami when I discovered that I had all this repressed energy inside me. And I realized I was writing a book. And I wrote about that experience on the table and some of my other experiences with doctors. And I said, I think I was standing in my kitchen and I said to my husband, I've been selling myself short my whole life. And he looked at me and I looked at him and I said, does that sound like the title of a book? And he said, yeah. Well, then later I found there's already a title book out there, Don't Sell Yourself Short. And my editor said, you kind of want to come up with a unique title. So with my husband and two friends, we were brainstorming about different ideas, play on words with short and joy. And we came up with, what was the other idea? Short doesn't mean squat. That was impossible. And then someone said, nothing short of, and I said, joy. So my name's Julie, but in Latin it means joy. So it was a process. Some people the title just comes to, some people have to work at it.
Or some people get inspiration.
Yeah. in dreams, like Einstein, dreamed the theory of relativity.
Or Emperor Constantine discovered the Chi-Rho symbol that helped him win the battle.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
He painted it on all his the symbol from God on all his soldiers' shields, and
Ooh.
that's helped him win the battle.
Yeah. Creativity is powerful. Any other questions? Thank you
Well, thank
for
you,
adding
Julie.
to the conversation. Thank you.
So we have about, well,